Hey YouTube, what is up? I was able to get my Galaxy S7 Edge earlier than I expected. The phone actually comes out on Friday, but today being Monday, I was able to get this phone early, and I'm actually excited to get this phone early because I can finally make the video about this phone that I was looking for that I couldn't really find. Every video that I saw about this phone when I was looking to see whether or not I should pre-order it was basically just a slow pan across the phone screen a couple times, and then they talked about the technical specifications. And now that's not bad, but when you can only access the phone for an hour and a half at a press conference, I don't really expect you to be able to talk about everyday use and how the phone handles daily use. And I feel like that's an opportunity I've been given, and the fact that I have this phone early now, I can make that video because I haven't seen other videos about that really. So, let's get into it. This phone has been the easiest upgrade I've ever done. I don't really upgrade phones all that often, but going from my Galaxy Note 4 to this phone was the easiest upgrade I've ever done. I literally just turned this phone on, put the SIM card in it, signed into my Gmail account, synced my contacts and everything like that. Anything that I didn't sync through Gmail, I turned my Galaxy Note 4 back on after I turned it off to take the SIM card out. I opened up my Verizon Cloud application. It put a QR code on the screen. I scanned that QR code with this phone, and then all my old pictures, videos, texts, call logs, music, all that was transferred to this new phone, and that's amazing. Within 20 minutes of turning this phone on for the first time, I had every application I ever used on my old phone downloaded, running, signed in, all my old music, photos, and videos downloaded. So this was the easiest upgrade by far I've ever done, and within 20 minutes of turning this phone on, I was ready to go. I was done. I didn't need to fiddle with the phone anymore, and that's incredibly impressive. Next thing, this phone's battery life is ridiculous. The phone's battery is a champ. That's the best way to put it. After an entire day of full use, downloading every application, photo, video, anything pretty much I could download to this phone, I downloaded to it. I've watched videos on it. I've used it to browse the internet. I've used the Gear VR with it a bunch, which I'm going to talk about later. The phone's battery is ridiculous. I'm a heavy power user. With my Galaxy Note 4, I needed 3 batteries to get through the day pretty much. This phone is at 48% after an intensive day, and probably the most intensive day it's going to have for a long time. So it's impressive that it lasted this long. You're not going to have to worry about battery life with this phone. It's going to probably last an average person 2 days without having to charge it. If you are a power user, probably about a day and a half, and that's more than you can ask for with this kind of phone. And if you really don't use your phone all that much besides just the occasional text and video, you could probably pull 3 days out of a single charge on this phone. And that's really, really cool. The only thing is this phone does get a little warm when you use it intensively, and that's just because of the fact that it's, I think, water resistant. It is sealed pretty much for water, so it does trap a bit of the heat, even though they do say it's water cooled, but it's not really water cooled. What it actually is copper wiring in the phone that they use to basically wick heat away from where the processor and stuff like that is. The phone gets a little warm, but it's not that bad. I'm just, it's something I did notice. That's basically what I'm just pointing out for this video. Every application that I downloaded from my old phone onto this phone ran better. No application ran worse on this phone. Switching between them was a breeze. Using the Samsung TouchWiz Edge functionality over any application, no problems whatsoever. And that's really something I'm happy about with this phone, is usually when I upgrade to a new phone, some application that I had before doesn't work, it doesn't run, it's not optimized for the newest operating system. I didn't have that problem whatsoever, and this phone isn't technically even officially released. I don't think the final update that usually goes live with its launch day is out, and without that update, this phone is still running like a dream. I can't complain at all about application usage or its system UI. The user interface on this is perfectly fine. There aren't any problems with it. The camera itself is really good. My old Samsung Note 4, the front-facing camera on it had some weird distortion, and that was a little, off-putting. The front-facing camera basically never looked right whenever I took a picture. This camera looks a lot better, especially the front-facing one. The rear camera on this is really, really good too. The fact that it has a 12 megapixel camera instead of a 16 means that it's basically just going to have better low light performance. It's going to do better pictures in darker places, so you can't really complain when you get that. That's what I actually enjoy in a phone camera, because most often I'm taking a picture with my phone indoors. I'm not really outside whipping out my phone. Any picture you're going to want to take in an instant, this phone is ready to go. Opening up the camera on this phone is incredibly quick. It's fine. Switching to the gallery is quick as well. That's actually been a problem on my older Samsung phones. Switching to the gallery takes like 30 seconds, and sometimes the phone just doesn't even load and shuts the screen back off for some reason. But this phone, I haven't had any problems switching from the camera to the gallery or to any other application for the matter. The thing that I think saves this phone's battery life the most is the low power state that you see right here. Basically, the only pixels that are on are the ones that are displaying the date, battery percentage, and the time. everything that's black on this screen is actually a pixel that's not on. So instead of having to turn your phone screen on and turning every single pixel on the screen on, it doesn't do that. It just displays the time only on these pixels, and that saves you a lot of battery in the long run, because running these few pixels consistently doesn't take as much energy to do as running this screen occasionally. It actually saves energy by running this screen all the time. I didn't believe it at first, but having seen how well this phone lasts throughout the day, I do believe it now. This definitely does help the battery last longer. If you're looking for one reason to upgrade to this phone over other phones that are coming out soon, one reason why this phone is cream of the crop, it's not the fact that this phone is a solid upgrade across the board. It's not the fact that it runs every application great, pretty much. It's not the fact that it has a good camera or amazing battery life. It's the fact that it basically becomes a Gear VR. Now, I am dead wrong when I thought that Gear VR was garbage. I thought phone VR was a joke. I thought it was just a gimmick. It is not. When you plug this phone into the Gear VR headset that you get for free when you pre-order this phone, it becomes a completely different experience. This is the coolest thing I've ever done with a phone, hands down. Playing video games in this is mind-blowing, and it's a phone game. Like, playing phone games with this is mind-blowing. The fact that I can watch Netflix in a virtual movie theater and it feels realistic, the motion's one-to-one, I don't notice the fact that I have this headset on at all, is crazy. I'm actually disappointed when I was using this phone in my room before and I had to take it off to film this video. I was disappointed by the fact that I had to take this VR headset off because of how cool it is to use. I can't think of a better reason to get this phone than the fact that you get this for free when you buy it, and it completely changes the phone 100%. This phone is basically becomes a transformer and just transforms into a completely different, ridiculously powerful beast when you put it into this headset. I don't know what it is about this, but I'm just loving it 100%. I know it sounds like I'm kind of hyping this as just like, you know, some kind of accessory that comes with the phone and it's a cool thing to get. It's not like using a Motorola smartwatch with this. It's not like using an iWatch. It's a completely different experience. The phone like completely changes how it works and what it does, and when you plug it into this, it is literally mind-blowing. To me, the first time I watched a 360-degree video with this, I got chills. Like, down my entire body, I got chills. I didn't get motion sick. I didn't feel any of that nonsense. I was just blown away by how well this phone works in this headset that you get completely for free. If you have never used this and you have the chance to pre-order this phone and get this for free, I say do it. I would have spent, knowing how good of an experience this is now, I would have easily laid down $300 for this headset alone in addition to buying this phone. I would have gladly paid $600 for these two items separately, knowing how good of an experience this is now. That's the best way to convey how amazing this VR headset is. Now, I'm gonna end the video here because I feel like I'm rambling a little bit about, you know, Gear VR and stuff like that, but I feel like that's really one of this phone's best strong points, besides the fact that it's an amazing phone on its own. I hope I was able to help you guys, you know, just get a sneak peek into what everyday life is like with this phone, everyday use. The phone runs great, and, you know, I'm just trying to convey how the phone runs, and it's kind of hard through this internet medium, but I hope I succeeded. I hope I was able to help you guys out. If you like this video, you can follow me on Twitter @Schwabs to see when I post future videos. If you want to, you can follow my Facebook page. The links to both of those are in the description. And if you really like the video, you can click subscribe because it's free, it's fun, and I'll see you guys in the next one.